Hey y'all, it's Missniecytv and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 8, Episode 2. The episode picks up where it left off with Robin and Andy in the interrogation room, and Agent Watt is like, "Who are you and why are you here?" Robin's like, "I'm Andy's legal counsel. Andy, let's go. This conversation is over." Agent Watt is like, "You haven't heard? Andy only likes men that are treated like trash. She was just about to tell me everything, so she's not going anywhere." Robin is like, "Are you charging her with something?" Agent Watt is like, "No, because we need more evidence." Robin was like, "Andy, let's go." Andy's like, "I came voluntarily." In this whole conversation, Agent Watt is throwing insults at Andy, and Robin's like, "Watch your tone. I know the people you work for, and just one call to them, your career will be." Robin is like, "Andy, let's go. We gotta go see your fiance." Andy's like, "My fiance?" Robin is like, "They haven't told you Gary's alive." Of course, Andy starts arguing with Agent Watt, calling him all types of names and all this other stuff, and Andy's like, "Why'd you do that?" Agent Watt is like, "I just told you that to see what you was gonna do and say. Them fake tears clearly mean nothing." Agent Watt definitely let Andy know that she's the prime suspect in Gary's stabbing and she's not to leave the state of Georgia. Over at the hospital, we see Hudson talking to the doctor and he's checking on Gary. He tells the doctor that he wants to know everything, so the doctor told him after Gary's 6-hour surgery that he flatlined on the table from a heart attack. The doctor informed Hudson that Gary is stable and he's doing okay now. Hudson's like, "Do everything you can because we don't want to give her the satisfaction." The doctor is like, "Who?" Hudson's like, "Andy Barnes. She's probably the one that did this to him." "Hudson, why are you trying so hard to pin this on Andy? I'm starting to look at you sideways like you really did this." Over at Danny's, Danny is still trying to do the business with Tony, and Tony is like, "I'm uncomfortable." So Danny decides to role play, and Tony's not into that either. Tony is like, "I'm worried about you. I know everything that you've been through, so tell me how you feel." Danny is like, "Am I worried that my friend's gonna get in trouble? Of course, but I'm not the one in trouble." Danny then tries to hop on Tony again, but he pushes her off and he's like, "Maybe you need to have a session with Carisha." Danny is like, "Maybe I just want my man to make love to me. Is that so hard?" Tony is like, "I don't think sex is the best option for you right now. I'm trying to show you that I could be more than just that." Over at Hayden's, we see Tamar at the door and she's like, "Are you going somewhere?" Then she decides to walk in the house without even being invited in. He's like, "Actually, I am. I'm going on a work trip." And Tamara doesn't believe that at all, because Hayden can't lie for worth. Hayden tells Tamara, "I didn't invite you in my home." Tamara's like, "I know, because you ain't got no home training." Hayden says the hoe that slept with my best friend. Tamara basically told Hayden that Gary was never his friend and will never be his friend. Then she proceeds to call the man a simp, and she's like, "He's probably the reason why he got what he got." Hayden's like, "So you heard about the stabbing?" Tamara's like, "Yeah, I heard about it on the drive over here. He's in ICU." She's like, "Whoever did it messed him up bad." And Hayden's like, "So?" Tamara's like, "You got anything you want to get off your chest?" Hayden's like, "So you think I did it?" Tamara's like, "I think you got one of the oldest tricks in the book. You were jealous." Tamara's like, "You just found out that me and him were sleeping together." And Hayden's basically like, "You're calling kettle black. You were probably mad that he was marrying Andy after he fulfilled you with all these empty promises." Hayden's like, "Gary had a lot of enemies, so it could be either one of them." Tamara's like, "We're not talking about them. I'm talking about you." Tamara's like, "How would you feel if I went down to the police and told them everything I know?" Hayden flips it back to her and he's like, "You probably stabbed Gary because you know that he was marrying Andy, so you went to go crash the wedding and stabbed him in the chest." Tamara's like, "Thank God you're a tax lawyer because you wouldn't make 1 cent as a criminal lawyer." Tamara's like, "Yes, I slept with Gary. Yes, he could be an a-hole, but I have no reason to stab him." Tamara's like, "Well, you were jealous, so that might be your reason why." Hayden's like, "B, you're not worth doing time for." He's like, "When the police find out what I know, it's not going to be good for nobody. You know that video that you got with Gary that I found in your phone? I took a copy of it and it looks like he was being very abusive with you." Tamara's like, "Joke's on you because I used the editing app on my phone to make you look like that." Hayden then goes on to tell Tamara, "If Gary wakes up, you and him will be perfect for each other." Tamara's like, "I don't want him nor you." Hayden's like, "I don't want you, but let's admit that we both need each other. You need me and I need you. So let's agree not to talk." Hayden said, "Let's shake on it." Tamara's like, "I got an even better idea." Then they both get down to business. Over at Sabrina's house, Sabrina and Rich are having a conversation and they're talking about how she feels about the whole Andy situation. And he's like, "Andy's a big girl, she could take care of herself." But trouble does seem to find her. Then he's like, "If you want to release some stress, I got something for you." Sabrina's like, "Well, you gotta wait 2 weeks." Apparently the stage in the process of her fertility journey that she's in, she can't have sex for 2 weeks. And Rich is like, "I don't know how I'm gonna do that." He's like, "I'ma abstain though." But then he tells her he does have an appointment with his fertility doctor to see how his fertility is. Sabrina's like, "I can't even believe you're doing this because you don't even want kids like that." She's like, "Dreams change." Like, it would be funny if Rich found out that he couldn't have kids and he stopped Sabrina from having a kid with Damani because he was jealous. Over at Karen's, we see that Pam stopped over there and she brought her breakfast. And Karen's like, "I know you just didn't come here to bring me breakfast. You want to know something." Pam is like, "What happened to Gary?" Karen's like, "I don't even want to talk about that no more." Pam is like, well, I heard you got stabbed by angry bridesmaids. Pam is like, if you don't want to talk about that, what do you want to talk about? Karen's like, we could talk about your business. Pam is like, Miss Marie asked for a business plan, but I don't even know what that is. The only plan I got is to make money off baby hair. Karen then explains to Pam what a business plan is and the type of grant she can get for her business. Karen agrees to write the first draft of the business plan for Pam, and she's like, thank you, I really appreciate it. Over at Zach and Fatima's, we see Zach working on the suspect board, and Fatima comes downstairs ready for work, and she's like, what is this and why? Zach is like, it's the suspect board. Fatima's like, okay, but if it's the suspect board, why am I on there? Zach is like, we have to cover all our bases. Fatima's like, why is this knife on there? Zach is like, I got it from a Halloween costume a couple years ago when I was Zack the Ripper. You know, like Jack the Ripper. Fatima's like, everything looks good so far except for this title. Zach is like, what you mean? Fatima's like, well, we gotta change it to who tried to kill Gary. Gary's not dead. Zach is like, he survived the stab wound. Fatima's like, yeah, so what's our plan? Zach is like, we just gotta make sure that they realize that we didn't do it because I already think that we're about that. Over at Andy's penthouse, we see Andy talking to Robin, and she's like, thank you for walking me up. She's like, you definitely came in at the right time because I was definitely about to tell him everything. Robin is like, give yourself some grace, you've been through a lot. The stabbing situation, and you thought the love of your life was... Andy's like, he's not the love of my life, he's the bane of my existence. Robin is like, if that's the case, then why were you about to marry him? And Andy, of course, doesn't tell him the truth. She could sit there like she dumbfounded. Robin is like, why are you so scared to tell everybody the truth, including me? What did Gary have over you? Andy's like, Robin, how'd you know I was being questioned? Robin is basically like, I got a homie that works down at the precinct and he told me. Andy's like, I see you're back in Atlanta. What happened to you being in London? Robin's like, well, I seen that y'all needed help over here after Mr. Leland. Robin's like, I heard all the incredible things that you were doing. You're so incredible. Andy's like, you must mean as an attorney. Robin's like, yeah. Andy's like, because if you meant it any other way, you would have said bye to me before you left. Back over at Danny's, we see Tony making her breakfast, and Danny's like, what are you doing in my kitchen? Tony's like, I made you waffles, eggs, and chicken sausage. Tony was basically like, I made you this breakfast to show you that I'm sorry, but I just want to prove to you that I'm more than sexting. Tony's like, I want to show you that I'm more than capable of talking to you about your feelings. Danny's like, I know that. Speaking of my feelings, I feel like my trauma was being laughed at. When you brought up the thing about having a session with Carisha, I was already going to do that anyway. Tony's like, I wasn't trying to make you feel that way. And he's like, as far as my mental health journey goes, I think I'm going to tackle this on my own, if that's okay with you. Tony's like, it's more than okay. Danny's like, oh, and when your woman asks for sex after a long day, you better do it. Tony's like, of course I want to. I just wanted to make sure you weren't trying to deflect from the actual situation by making jokes. Back over at Hayden's, it's the next morning, and Tamara's still on his couch, and Hayden comes down and talks to her, and he's like, all the hurtful stuff I said, I didn't mean it. I want us to try to be together again. Hayden's like, I see a future with us. Tamara's like, me too, we're so good together. And I'm like, Tamara, why are you feeling this man with empty promises and dreams? Over at Zach and Fatima's, it's time for Fatima to go to work, and Zach tells her, you know what, I like this Sherlock Holmes duo we got. We should go into business together. And Fatima's like, we should call it Wilson and Taylor. Zach is like, no, we should call it Taylor and Taylor. Fatima's like, Fatima Taylor does sound really nice. It has a ring to it. Fatima's like, I'm going to go to work though. Zach is like, be careful. Fatima's like, I ain't scared, Hayden. She's like, Mrs. Soon-to-be Taylor, be careful because we haven't cleared Hayden from the suspect list. Back over at Andy's penthouse, Andy and Robin are having a conversation about them, and Robin decides to make himself some tea. And Andy's like, you know I should be doing that, right? Robin's like, I know my way around your kitchen. I've been here a couple times. And Robin switches the topic to Jordan and all his accolades and all his accomplishments. And Andy's like, so you were keeping tabs on me? Speaking of Jordan, Robin is like, you can't go see him. Andy's like, why not? Robin is like, well, you gotta play the role of the doting fiance. What would it look like you being a fiance, but you're going to hang around your ex at the time of this stabbing? Andy's like, you can't tell me what to do, and Robin's like, as your attorney, I can. Robin's like, I'm pretty sure you're being followed too, so it wouldn't be a good look. That's when the girls walk in, and Andy's like, hi girls. The girls are like, hey, do you want to tell us why Robin's here? I wonder if Andy's actually going to tell the truth now since Robin clocked her tea about not telling them. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on bell notifications. Bye!